Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for making some time to hear about this exciting initiative that we've been working on at the U.S. Soccer Foundation. My name is Michael Von Cherubin. I'm the Senior Program Manager at the U.S. Soccer Foundation based out of Washington, D.C. And to begin with, I'll just tell you a bit about maybe how we came to this after-school space as we were started from the '94 World Cup proceeds. And really our goal at that point was just to grow the game of soccer as it hadn't been established in America to the extent that it is today. And as it grew over the first 10 years of our existence, we realized that rather than just growing the game generally, we had a real mandate, we thought, to focus on using the game for the betterment of the society at large and to really leverage the game that we loved, soccer, for social change. And so our mission kind of has adapted to be growing the game of soccer, but with a special emphasis on underserved communities. And we run a bunch of programs that really kind of drive towards that end. But our flagship program is the reason why I'm here chatting with you all today. And that program is called Soccer for Success. And we're very proud to have really developed this program with a lot of other very, very smart folks across the country and our program partners themselves. But to begin with, Soccer for Success is an after-school program that focuses on leveraging the game of soccer to teach healthy habits and develop the critical life skills that our youth need most. And Soccer for Success is about in its 7.5-year-old. And really we focused on program partners across the country in different ways, shape, and form, from Boys and Girls Clubs to YMCAs. And so we've had a really great first couple of years with the program, but we're beginning to kind of hopefully enter the after-school space in a more intentional way, and we're really excited about beginning in California with some brand new partners across the state, as the after-school network in California is incredibly diverse, and we think we have a lot to gain from each other with this program. And so as I enter, let's say, a non-traditional soccer space, I always want to begin with why soccer. There's a lot of reasons why I think soccer is uniquely adapted to be a great game for not only the after-school space, but any organization that's trying to use sport for social change, and any organization that's really, I'll begin with, that's strapped for resources. I think soccer is a very, very inexpensive game. Unfortunately, in this country, it's grown on the club scene to the extent where actually it's quite expensive for youth to play at a high level, and that just shouldn't be the case. And so we've made sure to keep soccer, which should be an affordable sport, as affordable as possible. The other thing is that it's pretty easy to start, and it's not as intimidating. There's not as many odds and ends as, let's say, hockey or football, where we got to get skates, find ice time. It's just very approachable. And I think for that reason, across the world, it's had incredibly broad appeal, and it is the world's game. And even in the United States, I think many of you can attest to that. Your folks, your kids, want to play soccer, and whether that's because it's culturally relevant with large Latino populations, new immigrants, or just generally, it's become a popular game amongst all kids in the United States. One of the other unique things about soccer, and again, not the only sport, is that it has a high level of physical activity. And, I love baseball, I love bowling, and there's a lot of great games out there that don't involve necessarily a high level of physical activity. When we are dealing with an obesity epidemic such that numbers are on the rise across much of the country, we want to look at a sport that has the opportunity to really get the kids moving really, really simply and easily. And soccer, I think we can all kind of simply see soccer as a sport with a high level of physical activity. Then lastly, because it's a team game and kids have to play together and play a game that's really not a coach game, it's really a player's game. They get to play on their own terms, and because of that, they get to interact with their friends, with their other youth in the after-school space, and that leads to fun. And so by using this game of soccer, by leveraging it, we can meet kids where they are, right? And hopefully that means that we can also do so in a way that achieves our ends as well. So as we were building this program, we thought about a bunch of key components, right? So obviously it's a soccer program, but much, much more than that. It's about health and wellness. So not only are we getting kids moving, but we developed an integrated curriculum that also teaches kids how to stay healthy and active. And as a sort of larger piece of that, who's doing that? And now those are the coaches. And so we see coaches as an incredible tool, not even tool, but incredible resource for building confidence and really striving to bring the best out of their players, out of the participants through the game when you're doing things like rewarding effort, not results. And really, we are very intentional in how we train our what we call coach mentors to really leverage the game for the betterment of all of the youth playing. And then lastly, we understand that building a healthy community, that building a healthy child is not something that one program does in isolation, right? So as good as Soccer for Success is, I believe that without it being integrated into a larger fabric of a healthier community, it will be ineffective. And so we not only say that, but we encourage it, and we help our local partners to leverage local resources to kind of build Soccer for Success into a larger fabric of a healthier community and driving at the goal of building a healthy child. And as we've entered this after-school space in California, we've thought a little bit about how this program might meet the quality standards for expanded learning. And so here are a bunch of standards that I just kind of listed here that I think are very easily sort of boxes that are checked by the Soccer for Success program. And after this call, we'll happily share with you a one-pager that goes into these in some more detail and really, I think, outlines how Soccer for Success really fits this protocol. And I hope that's useful as programs consider adopting Soccer for Success, that they understand that this is a program that really helps them achieve those quality standards. And as I mentioned, the program is not new in and of itself, and so we have some great results that I think it's important to understand that this is a program that has been third-party evaluated, and it is proven to be successful. And so some of the stats I threw up here for you all is just so you know this. Your child or your program's child will not be the first kid in this program. We're not testing this out. We've already reached over 71,000 kids, and we had some great results. 90% improved or maintained BMI, 89% made healthier food choices, etc. So, the results are clear, and one of the things we can talk about if people are interested is we can actually help our program partners to continue to, if they so choose, to collect these results. And many times we find that useful when they're trying to leverage the program or raise money for the program and for other like programs. They can use these stats. These are things that boards of directors seem to love. And so we can talk about that. And obviously, if you adopt our program, immediately you are running Soccer for Success. So some of these overall countrywide stats are certainly available to you. So getting into the nitty-gritty of, okay, Mike, what is the program? Very simply, we have built a 12-week curriculum that every student should participate in. It's a 3-day-a-week curriculum that has a 2-practice, 1 scrimmage. That's kind of the standard, what the standard week looks like. We have 3 sets of curricula that go all the way up from kindergarten through 8th grade. And one of the things that we found with it is that it really fits well into the after-school schedule, the space. Obviously, we understand some organizations, there's homework help, there's tutoring, there's lots of other things pulling at these kids' time. But one of the things that we like is in, an hour and a half time, you can not only get these kids moving, right, but they're having fun. They want to be out there. And that also can be some of the enrichment time, as we definitely are teaching nutrition. It's obviously, their physical activity time, and hopefully this leads them in a better situation to do the rest of their day that they want that you want to accomplish with them, whether that's studying or other enrichment activities. So here's just a screenshot of our print version of our curriculum. And so I'll just say that we have outlined this 12-week curriculum such that we hope that any line staff with some very straightforward training can actually run the curriculum. And I'll just point out a couple of things that pop out to me. One is that each day there are 2 brand new activities for the coach mentors to run. The second thing is, if you notice on the right, there's coaching points that are both soccer and nutrition specific. So we're talking about really a lesson plan It is soccer, it is fun, but we want to make sure that we're being intentional, right, about leveraging this to make sure that we're hitting our outcomes. But maybe the most exciting thing is that this is the print version that you see in the snapshot, but we have a totally mobile version that we can give you access to, so all the coaches can look at the mobile curriculum from their smartphone. And to us, I know that the bulk of your staff are all millennials, and I think that's great. And as one myself, I think I realized that like if we're not putting them in a situation to be successful, if we're asking them to carry around a binder all the time, this is not practical. And so by putting this in their phone, we know they're going to have their phones on them. And so when they're on their way to practice, or to your to your after school program, or they have some in between time, they can quickly open the mobile curriculum and make sure they know what they're doing in practice that day. So, we've gone this far and we haven't mentioned equipment. And so one of the things that we have is developed some really strong partnerships with groups across the country to provide some really, really low-cost equipment to each of our program partners. And that equipment includes shin guards, a soccer ball for every kid, ball bag, obviously, some cones, tall and disc cones, a banner to kind of recognize your participation with the U.S. Soccer Foundation and Soccer for Success. And then lastly, some scrimmage vests. And so there's other things that you can add on as well, jerseys, pop-up goals. But in order to keep kind of the prices reasonable for adoption as possible, these are kind of what we see as the core elements. And with these core elements, you can run an absolutely top-flight soccer program. So lastly, I'll just say that, the program is one that we've leveraged all of our resources to build at a cost that we think is really one that we hope is not only reasonable but is inexpensive. We look at a price point of approximately $28 a kid to receive everything that we've talked about. So the coaches receive an in-person training. Each kid receives a ball and practice equipment. And the mobile curriculum can be run over 12 weeks, but also we see a lot of our programs like to run this over 2 separate 12-week seasons. So some kids can receive as much as 24 weeks of curricula for that one price. As I mentioned, we're going to train the coaches in person. So we will come to your organization or your region and run an in-person training for a full day free of charge. Right? And that training gets your coaches, your line staff in a situation where they can be successful as soccer coaches. And we hope this is exciting for them. It's something that they want to learn. It's professional development. And it's totally inclusive within that above price of $28 per student. As I mentioned before, you can add on jerseys and data collection for an additional very, very reasonable price. And so we're just really excited to offer that to you. And I think one of the things I'll close with is that this program is sort of in its pilot version as we roll it out across California. So I'm interested to have discussions with all of you if this seems like something that's interesting. If you have thoughts and maybe even concerns about how this might be, it's almost a perfect fit, but if it was just this way or that way, we can make it work. And so we're interested in having those conversations. We are interested primarily in creating a healthier California through soccer, one that embraces sports, that embraces a healthy lifestyle, and we want to do so in a way that allows not only the kids to have fun, but hopefully each program to do this in a way that sort of they can really embrace, and not something that seems like too much hard work, but something that really meets the kids and even the staff like kind of where they are.